Today's AskReddit post. How did you get that scar? Oh boy, this is gonna be a good one. Let's get started. I was 10 years old, in Girl Scouts, and I really wanted a jackknife. Mum got me one, and said, be careful, and if you're not careful and you cut yourself, don't come crying to me. So I'm outside whittling on a stick, and the knife slipped and sliced into my finger. Oh shit, Mum's gonna kill me. I was scared to go inside the house, cause Mom would know what happened. So I rinsed the cut with the garden hose and wrapped my sock around the finger till it stopped bleeding. Mom's been gone 35 years and I think of her whenever I notice that scar. Did she find out? I don't think so. She also never found out about my brother shooting a BB through his finger. He wasn't supposed to play with the BB gun in the house. Thought that he could stop the BB by covering the end of the barrel with his finger. BB shot through the meat of his fingertip. Don't tell Mom. She'll take the gun away. What ended up happening to his finger? Is there a hole in it now? Just a weird dent. I was 11 and got mugged. The third guy sliced my face. There was so much blood they freaked and ran. You've gotta be some coward to mug an 11-year-old. I think John Mulaney put it best when he imitated one such coward by saying, man, I need cash for drugs right now. Maybe that 8-year-old with the goddamn Aladdin wallet that only has blank photo laminate pages in it will be able to help. You want it? Go get it. Street smarts. My middle school science teacher was doing a routine demonstration in which he heated up a jelly baby with a Bunsen burner. For whatever reason it went wrong. The jelly baby exploded and landed on my knee. Burnt a hole through my skirt and tights and the scar is still there to this day. She was a bloody lovely woman and a fab teacher and was really apologetic. She let me eat the rest of the bag of jelly babies to make up for it. The hell is a jelly baby? They're English sweets. Soft jellies covered in sugar, in the shape of babies. I never thought about how weird they were till I had to explain them. LOL. They're yummy though. Oh, alright. We have something like that in the US. Except they have sour powder on them. They are called Sour Patch Kids. They sound like the chaotic evil long lost siblings of English jelly babies. Brown recluse spider bite. I was 4, and my mom didn't notice it for days. Definitely could have died, but luckily got away with just a scar. Same thing happened to me, but I was 11. Went into anaphylactic shock and I was high risk for kidney failure. Spiders are filthy sons of bitches and I have a massive scar on my upper arm now. A disgruntled cocker spaniel, an ambivalent greyhound. I was on my way to Arizona aboard a bus when I gouged the base of my ring finger on the metal frame on the back of the seat in front of me. It bled a little. Didn't get infected, but I doubt I'll ever lose this little reminder. I don't even know how to explain to you how disappointed I was that a dog was not actually involved in this at all. An actual greyhound headbutted me in the testicles when I was 14 cause I thought I could keep her from running after another dog. No scar, but the dog got away and I fell to the ground whimpering. When I was a kid I wanted to see if I could set off a 22L round by holding it with a wrench and hitting the rim with a hammer. Turns out I could. Friend of mine tried putting one in a vice. That worked too. I'm glad I have you guys to learn second hand, third hand, from. I grew up before the do not try this at home disclaimer. Best one I heard so far. First time I masturbated I bit my lip so hard, I have the mark for the rest of my life. You got the award for horniest way to hurt yourself. Now that's people who jack off with toothpaste? Dunno. The guy who masturbated to death for a total of 60 something times within a day sounds super close. You mean he came super close? When I was 4 or 5, I tried to chop a small piece of wood. As I placed it on the block, the axe slipped from my armpit and landed on my finger. Do you still have your finger? I do. It's fully functional. But I did lose a bit of flesh. There's a little pit at the first joint from the knuckle. The scar is pretty sick, though. Oof. Hodgkin's disease. They opened me up to biopsy various things. Scar runs from my breastbone to my pubic bone. Good grief. This must be from before laparoscopy. Partially because it was a teaching hospital. It was great having a lot of different doctors looking at my case and working the procedures, but the downfall was apparently the person practicing closing procedures. Tons of surgical staples. Scar is about ½ inch wide in some parts. This was ages ago and I doubt they do the same surgery anywhere anymore. Took a window to the shoulder. I was an adventurer like you once. Until I took a window to the shoulder. Take my fake gold sports medal. Does anyone remember playing spoons? I do, from the fingernail scar on my hand. Was it extreme spoons or regular spoons? Cause that game can get intense. Extreme spoons? It's the same game, except the spoons are placed on the other side of a football field or something. It gets intense, and people get injured really easily, lol. We'd play where the first person to go for them grabbed the whole pile and threw them outside the group. The best was when one dimwit grabbed and threw over their shoulder. It was a stampede. Grinning face with tightly closed eyes. This guy at school would give friction burns to people by running his cast against their arm. I wanted to see how long I last. Fast forward 6 years. There's still a mark there. Safe to say I got a scar from stupidity. My friends rubbed erasers on the back of their hand and have scars there now. I was not dumb enough to do that, fortunately. My older brother did that to me when I was around 6 years old. He told me he could make my skin disappear. It did. I was in 3rd grade at my cousin's house playing kickball with pants that were too big for me, and I went to catch the ball and my pants started falling and I fell on the street, leaving a gash on my knee. But I'll have you know I only cried for 20 minutes. One time I did kind of the same thing but on a skateboard and on my elbow. Went down a concrete drainage pipe, sitting down in the board, tipped back and kept going for about 75 meters with my elbow grinding on the pipe. Say goodbye to most of my elbow skin. No scar though. I walked headfirst into a coffee table when I was a child. Now I have a scar between my eyebrows. Strangely, the habit of hitting my head on things has hardly gone away with age. Actually, come to think of it, that might explain the habit. My son has a small scar on his cheek from face planting our coffee table. It's a family heirloom and requires blood occasionally. It bites everyone that comes around it, but prefers to bleed the young. It needs blood sacrifices to continue to exist. Slipped on a non-slip mat. Slow clap. When I was young, me and my friends used to wrestle for fun. Well, me and a neighbor kid were wrestling for fun. He lost. Got pissed and stabbed me in the side with a Swiss Army knife. I was 14, had no phone and my parents were out of town. My grandpa taught me when I was 12 how to stitch a wound shut, so I had to self-stitch the wound shut. To this day my parents don't know. Dude, this kid's the ducking devil. Did he apologize or anything? Nope, took off right after I pulled the knife out of my side. What an asshole. My cat. One time I was holding my cat and my friend jumped out of a door and shouted to scare me, not knowing I was holding my cat. And my cat freaked and made like a Beyblade and let it rip with her sharp ass claws down my whole chest while trying to run. Stung like a bitch, lol. Made like a Beyblade and let it rip is the greatest thing I've read all day. I used to self-harm. I'm 3 months clean next week. Knowing that other people have successfully stopped for longer than I have gives me the strength to keep it up. I want it to remain a used to for as long as I can. You've got this. Keep it up. I was really ill. In the middle of the night I went to go toilet and got up too quick and was half awake walking to it. In the hallway I ended up fainting and hitting my head on the edge of a small cabinet. It made a deep cut across my left eyebrow in the shape of an arc which left a scar. I went into a concussion. Not long. And I have no memory of getting up or being in the hallway. I had to get stitches and it's permanent. Same thing for me, except I was at a doctor's office and hit my head on their bathroom sink. Passed out cause I had to fast for blood work. Got the blood work done. Then tried to use the restroom afterwards. 6 sticks and a bad story. I was riding my bike in the city, and a car door from one of the parallel parked cars opened up in front of me. Broke glass, bike, and needed surgery on my collarbone. Now I can tell when it's about to rain because my metal plate begins to hurt. That's kinda cool though, children. It shall rain soon. I feel it in my bones. Rain starts. Kids zoo and don't forget to lock them in your basement so they can't see the sky. Used to work at a small pharmacy. My co-worker was going to a party and asked if I could close up myself. Me being me, I agreed. I was locking some stuff away. We used to keep most of the strong stuff in just some lockers. We upgraded after this, and 4 junkies jumped me, sliced my throat, and took a bunch of drugs. Wasn't deep but it could have been lethal. I was in shock but knew I needed to call for help, so I just went and pushed the alarm and called 112, 911 in Europe. Luckily I got the help I needed and the thieves were found. The neighbor girl hit me in the head with a high heel shoe when I laughed at her for not being able to do a cartwheel. Shit hurt so bad and was fairly bloody, but at the end of the day only one of us could do a cartwheel, and that was me. Suck on that dollar. Yep, suck on that fish color. The bottom of a heel scar is across my eye. Forgot the safe word, did you? Ultimate rug burn. I was running down a slight carpeted slope and gravity got the better of me. I slid a few feet with almost all of my weight on my left elbow. Hurt like a methodica. Try that but for 75 meters. In a concrete halfpipe. On a skateboard. My childhood in a nutshell. Oh, that's no fun. I'll take extreme rug burn over that any day. Though I will say yours is a reasonable way to hurt yourself, LMAO. I had to deal with the pain of responding to how did you hurt yourself with I slid down a carpeted ramp on my elbow. Fun times. Self-harming. I hate to say it but some are newer than others and I occasionally add another. Edit. Thank you all for the kind words and advice. Also I don't use anything except my nails, as in I just keep scratching until I go deep through the skin. Just take care of yourself. And always remember your disinfectant and bandages. I was going out for my 17th birthday last year and the car I was in got hit by a truck. I ended up with a long scar starting from my forehead going back into my head. This is my very first time posting commenting. I get really nervous when doing these things because I'm antisocial. Disappointed but relieved face. This is just one step in me getting out of my box comfort zone. You did it. A ferret bit me when I was 2. Yes, it's still there over a decade later. No, I am not ferret man or a ferret. You should convince it to let go. It's probably tired after a decade of holding on. I was like 3 and hit my cheek on the table corner. Hot glue gun from making a pasta bridge for a competition which my group ended up winning. Worth it. I dropped a glass pot for cooking while doing the dishes when I was 17 and it kinda broke and kinda entered my foot and I was kinda lucky that I can still feel my toes. Story of my 7 centimeters long foot scar. Well, which is it? 7 centimeters or a foot? S. Some doctors sawed my sternum in half, rearranged some vessels, and sewed Gore-Tex into my heart. Whoa, that was rude. Did they even ask first? I bet they did it in his sleep. Very rude. Left hand. My mom threw a knife at me when I was 13. Right hand. I was running and someone ran into me. They knocked me down and I hit the concrete pretty hard. Blood on my knees, elbow, and hand. All of them healed, but the scar on my hand stayed. Foot. My friend dropped scalding water on my right foot at work. After the blisters healed, they left a scar. Why is your mom throwing knives at you? His name is Isaac. Angle grinder with a diamond wheel on it, and no gloves. Were your PPE people? I almost didn't see the E at the end of PPE and I was about to ask how does that work? Do we just wear strap-ons? Tore up dog fight and protected my brother. I have a half moon shaped scar on my forehead. 27 stitches. An old TV. Think 1995 CRT 19 inches fell onto my forehead. The corner of it straight to my skull. You might have a scar on your forehead because a TV fell onto you, but my brother has a scar on his forehead because he fell onto the TV. Grandma was watching 2-year-old I am special, but maybe not so well because I slipped and fell on a classically not child safe 80s baby gate which sliced open flesh on my brow bone. It's totally cool though. A scarred eyebrow gives me mad pirate cred. My cat. This guy's cat. I also choose this guy's, probably not dead, cat. It was a terrible battle between me and a can lid. Somehow left 2 scars on my left hand. I did this too once. It was a can of coffee, with the tin lid and not the plastic, like Folgers has. My shitty can opener shit out near the end. So I tried to finish peeling it open with a fork. Slipped. Sliced my thumb knuckle. Panicked. Ran to my apartment maintenance man's office where he had a first aid kit and got me all wrapped up for my work shift an hour later. We had gym class in 4th grade in the classroom because the gym was being used for voting machines. I changed directions quickly and as I turned around a tall kid was right in my face. His top front tooth went into my forehead in the hairline. I bled all over the classroom and got to go home for the rest of the day. Sometimes it itches, still has a tingly sensation. Gross. If someone bites you and it bleeds, it can be really dangerous. You all old people remember the swing sets that were made of metal poles, and if you swung too hard the legs would lift up and the chains holding the swings were never fully attached so you could go flying off at a moment's notice? That, with a spectacular landing right into the end of the pole on the slide that was tipped over that gouged out a hole the size of a dime in my knee. Picked a freckle off the back of my hand with my fingernails and teeth. Mum thought letting a 9-year-old slice a watermelon was a good idea. It was not a good idea. I'm now 20 and still have the scar, and haven't sliced a watermelon since. A bamboo thorn makes you realize how hard the thing pandas eat are. Yes, I vaguely remember, but in 2 or 3 grade I was playing with some bamboo like stuff and for some reason it went into my finger. Saw the flesh and everything, but surprisingly did not hurt or bleed the entire time. Weird. Edit. You can still see a scar but it is not really visible. A punk from the 4th of July few weeks ago. Bro, you actually watched the whole video. I'd give you a high five if I was a human. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe for more great content. See you next time.